I think you need to stop treating yourself like some project that needs to be completed. You need to realize that you're a person. I think a lot of times, as young men especially, we'll kind of get into the mode of like, we're only worth the value that we can provide to other people. So the value that you can bring to people, whether that's like money you have from like working your job and making sure that you got like bands saved up, or like, for example, somebody like me, I live in Los Angeles, California. I live in a constant house with my friends. And it's cool because it's a very creative community. But since we are in the city of stars, whatever, the city of angels, a lot of people base their worth around how many followers do you have? How famous are you? Do you have enough TikTok followers? Like, what's like your social status? What's like your social standing? And we need to realize that like we gotta stop treating ourselves as like projects and things that need to get done and need to be completed. Like just you yourself as a person, you have so much inherent worth that if you were just to like realize that your inner divinity, that like you're already enough in this current place, in your current standing. If you didn't bring anything to the table, if you didn't bring money or fame or even just like like emotional value to people, like you're fine exactly how you are already. So I'm telling you this because, again, if you guys are new to the channel, my name's Alton. I'm 24 years old. I'm Capricorn, and I don't even know if I really believe in the whole horoscope thing super heavily. But one thing about Capricorns is that we're known to be like Atlas. We put the world, Atlas, the guy that has the whole world on his back. That's like what they liken us to, because we just take on so much like pressure and stress. We take on other people's problems and burdens as our own because we want to be able to hold up everything for everybody at all times. And I think this is a common trope just amongst like young men in general. If you're watching this video, you're probably like me. Again, I'm 24, so you're probably in like the 16 to 35, maybe even your 40s range. But yeah, a lot of times it's like, hey, if I'm not bringing nothing to the table, I don't deserve to eat. I'm not shit. And again, a big part of this could be also because of like social media. We have the gender wars going on right now where like, of course, men think they're better than women. Women think that men ain't shit. And a lot of like the messages being pushed on social media right now to young men is like, hey, make him pay for your nails. If he's not making you spend money on him, boo. Like if he's not spending money on you, boo, like drop him, leave him alone. Like my man pays my rent, all this stuff. And I'm seeing this stuff and I'm like, dang, like if I don't pay this girl's rent, do I not actually care about her? Like it really makes me think like, dang, I gotta start getting out there. I gotta get on my P's and Q's more. But that's not actually the case. Love shouldn't have a value put on it. Love shouldn't have like an actual like financial number put on it. It should be that you care about somebody and you love them, and that's like the main thing. It's not like, okay, what can I provide for this person? But everything in like life right now has become so transactional. Now maybe that's because we're like in a state of kind of survival right now. Again, ever since 2020, things have been like really weird, and with inflation, the whole like presidential election coming up, it feels like we're in a state of duress right now, where it's very like a state of unrest. People don't really know what's gonna happen or what's gonna like come. So I think a lot of people are doing things like trying to like hoard and save up money. You got the doomsdayers trying to actually hoard and save up like food and stuff because they think the world's gonna end. And it's like we're in such a state of just like, okay, nobody knows what's gonna go on, that I think that we are like all trying to grasp so hard for like just anything that you can. You just want to get a bone right now, but you gotta stop treating yourself like a project. Like treat yourself like a person. I remember I heard before, it's like somebody said, treat yourself like somebody you cared about. So for me, I care about my nephew. I care about all my nephews, but my oldest nephew is about 19 years old right now. And whenever he calls me, sometimes he'll tell me like, hey, like, Alton, I messed up in this, or I need help with this. I never judge him once. If he tells me he spent all his money, he's broke, I'm like, all right, cool, like, it's all good. It's something that you do as a person. Like, I've gotten broke and made it all back 10x, 100x, 100 times. So I know what it's like. But for me, if my money starts going down personally, I start treating myself like, man, you're a piece of shit. You should have never bought that Chipotle yesterday. Like, what are you doing, man? You need to be saving every dollar, every cent. You got to be frugal and stuff. But for him, I'm like, oh, hey, like, don't worry about it. These are just natural things that you go through in life. So if you treated yourself as somebody that you actually cared about, you'd be a lot gentler to yourself. Like, even listen to some of the terms that I talked about just now. Like, I said, like, oh, Alton, if you're not doing this, you're a piece of shit. I would never call my nephew that. What the heck? Never at all. Even the words you use are very, like, gentle for those people that you care about. So a lot of times we treat ourselves worse than somebody that we would actually, like, love or somebody that we care about. And it makes you think, well, do you actually love yourself? I started doing one of my affirmations like every day or almost every day. I got to get more consistent with it. But one of my daily affirmations is, I love you, Elton. And the first time that I said it, I felt hella weird. I'm not gonna lie. The first time I said I love you, Elton, I was like, what type of head ass shit is this? Like, what are you talking about? But it's because like these things are so like unheard of, I think, especially like in the male community, especially like in like the black male community. I'm not gonna get too deep into stuff like that, but self-love in a lot of like the minority communities especially, it's not really talked about, you know? Like a lot of our fathers didn't really tell us that they loved us, and then that kind of like goes back into our own like psyche, and it goes deep within ourselves of like, a lot of times we don't even really love ourselves. We just are trying to, again, the whole project thing, we're just trying to prove ourselves to people and bring some type of value to our people to where like they just want to have us around. I remember for me in my home, the big thing was education. Go to school, Alton, get your education. Make sure you have good grades. My older sister, she was a lawyer and now she's a judge. She went to Yale, all these things. And that was always like, it felt like a burden that was kind of placed on my back too of, yo, you got to be doing more. Like if you're not out there getting straight A's, going to college, doing all these things. I always felt like the black sheep in my family because I didn't do any of that stuff. I didn't go to college. Like I'm out here in LA, I live in a constant house. I'm trying to do the whole influencer thing. So to my parents and my family, I'm like crazy. But yeah, a lot of times it's just like, because we have like these stigmas and stuff that were placed into our heads from when we were younger, it's very hard to shake those even in our adult years. But realize that you're not your grades, you're not the money or the account, the number that you have in your bank account. You're not how many friends you have. You're not how many followers you have on social media. You're not the whatever clothes you have or whatever crazy shoes that you have, the kicks that you have. You're not the apartment that you stay in, the neighborhood that you stay in. Like, shoot, I'm not in Beverly Hills. We're not doing too bad, but we're not in Beverly Hills, but we are not these things. Like, these things do not define us. These things do not define you. You define you. You're a person. Like, treat yourself like it because you deserve it. You deserve to feel love from others, from the people around you, and they should be happy to have you. Like anybody would be happy to have you because you are a blessing and you are divine in your own right. So if you guys do agree with today's video or whatever thoughts that you have, comment it down below. If you guys like today's video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and turn on the post notification bell because I do post videos like this every single day. And if this video resonated with you, check out this video over here. I think you like as well. I love you guys, and I'll speak with you very soon. I'll see you tomorrow.